Welcome to Strip Talking, a podcast from stripwalking.com.
I don't understand this Whopper situation.
I did not eat tuna in college, despite my best efforts.
A branch of the Branch Davidians, David Cornish.
It's what brings fun to Vegas, math.
Usually that's one of the things that really comes naturally to you is insulting me.
All right, Jeff, you're the podcast expert.
Spider-Pig.
Nobody's going to care. Mom's not going to care. She's glad I'm hydrating.
Don't put words in his mouth. Put monster burgers in his mouth.
We can still be friends.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I'll respect you as much.
I don't know that we can respect him at all.
Take your ketchup meat back.
In this episode, how many Gladys Kravitz bands are there? Mike and Jay go to Long John Silver's. The guys remember Lorena Bobbitt. Mike texts with a stranger. Jay butchers a pig. And Costco chicken makes the Food Hall of Fame.
Here are your hosts, and maybe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Strip Talking Podcast, brought to you by stripwalking.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Jay, as you know. I've got Jeff with a G here with me tonight. Jeff, how you doing?
I am doing absolutely fantastic, Jay.
That's my line, you mother.
I always love it that Jay goes to me first so I can steal your line.
And, of course, Mike here as well.
I gotta stop saying so much.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
Great. Good to know.
My wife listened to the last podcast, so.
Did she give us 5 stars?
She liked the big Randy Christmas idea.
Who doesn't?
I think because that would probably get her a better present than I would get her. So.
Oh, so that's where the 2-star review came in? Makes sense.
The 2-star review was like 3 months ago, Jeff.
Doesn't matter.
You gave it to us.
Doesn't matter.
The big Randy... I would challenge all of our listeners to convert at least one of their Christmas gatherings to the big Randy Christmas style, because it's amazing. It's the only way. You'll never go back. You'll never go back. If you try it, you'll never go back.
Since we're revisiting that podcast, though, one of our listeners, yes, apparently we have listeners.
Yeah, I've heard.
Nice.
Scott in Iowa. Jeff and I met him at the 360 Vegas thing.
Yeah, we did.
But he pointed out that there is a Sons of Gladys Kravitz band.
That's correct.
Actually posted a little video on Facebook of them. He was watching them, listening to them. And you say that that's not the band that you saw in Council Bluffs?
Nope. That's not the band that my friend is in. No. My friend is in Gladys Kravitz. That's the only name.
You're telling me there's 2 Gladys Kravitz bands in Iowa?
Yeah.
That's
different.
Ridiculous.
Or awesome.
No, different names. Totally different names. Sons of Gladys Kravitz is different than Gladys Kravitz.
Okay, well, let's not say totally different names. One name is inside the other name.
Is Queen and Queens of the Stone Age 2 different bands? Yes. Same diff.
Is Great White and White Lion the same band?
There you go. Same diff.
Nope.
Yeah. No, not at all. They're different bands.
Okay, find on Facebook the Gladys Kravitz band. I couldn't do it.
I literally will send it to you right now.
Well, I'm not to change gears, but while Jay is Googling this, I had an experience this last weekend. I needed you guys' input because to me at the time it was hilarious, and I'm sure it was not as funny as I thought it was at the time. But anyway, I went to a new bar and restaurant that opened up in a local or somewhat local town close to me, and I was sitting at the bar and drinking, of course. Turns out that the waitress's name or the bartender's name she was a super nice lady. Her name was Alexa. My question is this, is it inappropriate for every time when you go to order a drink that you say, Alexa, can I have this drink? Or Alexa, are drinks cheaper on the venue side or on the eatery side? Is that inappropriate?
There's something comforting about it, actually.
I was hoping you were going to say her name was Gladys Kravitz.
If I'd have known about, I actually, you know what I should have been was like, Alexa, is Sons of Gladys Kravitz the same band as Gladys Kravitz?
At least I don't spell my name wrong. Jeff, with a G.
So, like, is Sons of Gladys Kravitz's band members kids?
Ooh, that's a very good question too.
No.
No.
It's two different bands.
I'm not even sure your band exists. I'm going to need some sort of proof at this point. Scott provided proof of his band. You have not provided any proof other than this story you gave on the podcast.
I'm sending it to you right now.
That is the best kind of podcast content.
to send it on a video.
I just sent it to you. Check your phone.
We'll splice in some Jeopardy music here.
No, your phone just beeped. We heard it on the podcast.
You've got mail.
It buzzed, but it actually didn't come through yet. Must be some sort of porn link that got blocked. Yeah, it buzzed, but I got nothing.
Well, I cannot be responsible for Facebook's shortcomings.
That's right.
Oh, you said it on Facebook? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I thought you texted it.
No, I didn't.
Why would you Facebook it?
Well, that's the only option that came up. No. Looking at the two different bands, Gladys Kravitz and Sons of Gladys Kravitz, they seem to play very similar music. They both seem to rock, actually.
They're both from Iowa?
70s and 80s. No, Gladys Kravitz, as I know it, is more Omaha-based, Nebraska side-based.
Oh, okay. So they're probably feuding.
Probably, but they both actually sound like they rock.
Are they better than Chevelle?
Well,
What kind of question is that?
it's kind of a different league.
I just wanted to get the eye roll.
Not so much league, but different style.
I think the Iowa Gladys Kravitz is probably quite a bit bigger. No offense.
Oh, I'm not in the band. I don't take any offense.
You should find out from your buddy if he's aware of the other Gladys Kravitz band.
I'll text him right now.
Also, podcast gold.
I'm sure he'll appreciate a text at 11 o'clock at night. Oh, speaking of texts, I got a fun text the other day. It kind of got a little out of control on me. It started off, "Hi, Alice, it's Mia. We'll go horseback riding tomorrow."
Okay, sounds legit.
I said, "Do the horses know?"
You don't strike me as a horseback riding sort of guy.
But Mike, I know, has done horseback riding. He did it in Hawaii last year, if I recall.
That was enough for her, Mia, if that's her real name. When I said, "Do the horses know?" that she put it together, which is kind of impressive because sometimes when I do shit like that, it takes several more texts before they realize they have the wrong number. She said, "I'm sorry I sent the wrong message. I hope I didn't disturb your beautiful day." You'd think that would probably be the end of it. But I said, "You did not, and have a great time horseback riding." You'd think that would be the end of it, but it was not. She said, "Thank you for your timely reply. I have contacted my friend. If you happen to be in Los Angeles, I will invite you to join us. I think it will be very interesting."
And you thought that would be the end.
But it was not.
But it was not.
I said, "That sounds like a blast. But I imagine you Googled my number, or at least my area code, and discovered I am safely thousands of miles away in the flyover state of Nebraska. We do have horses here, but the best horseback riding I have ever done was in Kauai. Not cheap, but worth it for the views if you ever get the chance." That was a nice tip, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was. And you thought that would be the end of it.
You thought that would be the end of it. It was not. We'll discover later that why she was continuing it, I was kind of oblivious to at first. We'll just continue.
Well, hold on. My question is, at what point did you realize that she was some sort of porn-related person?
Did she send you topless
And the
pictures?
only horseback riding or riding in general she was referring to had nothing to do with horses.
I wish actually I would have got some titty pics or something, but I didn't. But anyway, first of all, she said, I want to explain the number. I hope you don't get me wrong. Alice's number was saved by my assistant last time, but he entered the wrong number. I'm not the one who searched for your number on Google. I apologize if I disturbed you.
Mm-hmm.
You live in a beautiful place. Maybe I will go there during my holiday trip in November because it's been on my travel list for a long time. I am looking forward to and curious, and I think I will experience it. I'll invite you for coffee or horseback riding.
Nebraska's been on her holiday list.
And she's going to go in November.
From LA, from Los Angeles, she's going to come to Nebraska in November. And you thought that would be the point where you would recognize what was going on.
At this
but it was
point,
not.
it seems fishy. Yeah.
So, being the nice Nebraskan that I am, I'm like, fine. You want to come here?
I have she in quotation.
It was a wrong number to begin with. So it's probably Mia.
Was it? No, it was not a wrong number.
Okay, it probably wasn't. But anyway, basically said, yeah, sure, come. I'm paraphrasing at this point. We'll have coffee. We'll go to the zoo, whatever. Thinking she took it a very different way.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Because stupid me, I honestly did not mean it that way. But the next text I get is, would you mind telling me your age? So at this point, I think, okay, I better somehow mention my wife and kids. Would you mind telling me your age? And I said, well, now you're obviously just trying to open a line of credit in my name. And then she said, you're funny. Obviously, now she's really into the Mike experience. She said, you're funny. And I said, my wife rarely thinks so. I'm in my mid-40s with 2 kids and the aforementioned wife. And that was the end of the
conversation. I'm sure it was the aforementioned wife and kids that probably
ghosted.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that it was either the wife or it was the age. It was one of those two things.
At no point she asked you for your Bitcoin wallet address, anything like that? Okay, that's good. That's
I
good.
may have sent dick pics though.
Yeah. Valid.
That was before he realized what was going on.
That was like text message too.
Oh, Mike, that's a funny story. Although I will say that I have had a similar experience where I did have I accidentally sent this to the wrong person, and they started continuing on. And unlike you, I maybe caught on a little quicker and just didn't respond, and they stopped responding. So,
but you're single. I've started the spam and those kind of messages aren't going to stop, so I've started responding to some of them, and that probably just gets me on more lists. But
who cares? We're on all the lists anyway.
My favorite thing is on a lot of them is I'll say, "What are you wearing?"
Just started off creepy. Yeah, just started off creepy. I like that.
I love the story. I think it's hilarious how long the conversation continued.
Did you see that was a bizarre story, the Ocean One thing?
Yes, that's wild.
So super popular restaurant in Las Vegas, known for reasonable prices and fairly decent food. It's in Miracle Mile shops. And I think I saw it on Twitter first. Somebody posted like a notice of eviction or something along those lines.
Well, it was something along the lines that the owner or the manager of the property had changed the locks, left a number for the whoever that if they wanted to pay the rent, they could pay it to this person. If they wanted to just get in to get their stuff out, they could get a hold of that person or something like that. And it was all about the fact that they hadn't paid rent, from what I understand.
But then, like, in the comments, people were like, well, all these other locations are closing or have closed too. And it sounded like they were done. And then a couple days later, it's same thing on Twitter. It's like, oh, they're open again.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, that I had heard that they were open again, that they'd come in and they'd paid their back rent, which you and I have eaten there, Mike. Have you eaten there, Jay?
Not that I remember, no.
Okay. I don't remember the food being great, but I remember it was pretty decent. And I remember the prices were good. I remember the desserts were good.
I think it was early COVID is when I ate there.
Yeah, it was you and me and your brother-in-law. It was Adam.
It's gotten to the point where it's so well known. Anytime I walk by there, there's just a line like down the hallway at Miracle Mile.
Yeah.
People trying to get in. So
Yeah.
to me, it just really hasn't been worth trying to go back.
Right.
So I don't really remember. I remember thinking, yeah, the food's pretty decent and it's reasonably priced, but I don't remember a ton about it other than that.
Well, and again, like you said, I think the hype of it, with the fact that the prices were low, food was reasonable, both priced and quality, kind of made it this cult following that.
That's the problem at this point. It's just so popular, and I don't know if the prices are still reasonable or not, but I imagine, especially if you're having trouble paying the rent.
Right, that you should probably raise your prices a little bit to cover that rent. I don't know. My thing is, and anybody that knows you and I, Mike, know how much we like Earl of Sandwich. I would rather go down the hallway of the Miracle Mile shop to Earl of Sandwich and spend $10, $12 and be in and out so I can do whatever I want versus stand in line and wait for food, which I don't think was really any better than what Earl has.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't close, but I don't have any sort of love affair with it.
I think you probably had more feelings towards that cookie dough shop that was in the Miracle Mile shop that closed. I mean, I'm not even joking. You were visibly distressed when we couldn't find it because it had shut down.
If there's one thing I like, it's raw cookie dough.
That's right. Eggs be damned.
That's the beauty of it. There aren't eggs. That's why it's edible.
I know. Well, I don't know about you, but I've eaten my fair share of raw cookie dough that has uncooked eggs in it.
Yeah.
And it's
too.
never bothered me. Actually, that should be something that I put in our food hall of fame is raw cookie dough.
Did you know it's not so much the raw eggs in cookie dough that's the bad part? It's the raw flour. That's true.
What?
True story. Raw flour. Yeah. It's the raw flour that's the problem.
So what do they substitute in edible cookie dough?
I don't know.
Come on, Mr. Food Know-It-All.
It's the raw flour because flour is obviously made from wheat, right? There's no real way to get all the bird poop out of the flour. You can't wash it. You can't wash all the flour.
I think you're just making shit up now.
Google it.
So you're telling me there's bird shit in cookie dough and that's why you can't eat it raw?
Raw flour is very dangerous to eat.
Because of bird shit.
Yeah.
Contaminants. I can buy that.
It's true.
But I also know that, as I said, I've eaten the literal equivalent to pounds and pounds of raw cookie dough.
Me too.
I have never, ever, ever had any problems other than I've felt sick because I eat too much of it.
I've dipped my dirty ass finger right into it, and it's been fantastic.
It was delicious.
That cookie dough place still has, from what I understand, vending machines in the airport, although I've never been able to find them.
We walked by one of them, I know, but then we couldn't find it when we came back because I think we were down one of the different.
I think it's in one of the areas that we almost never go to because it's an airline that we never fly.
Like Spirit.
Blue Spirit.
I don't have a problem with Spirit.
Blue Spirit. I only fly Blue Spirit.
Only blue, not yellow. Give me some blue and some of the yellow.
Speaking of things that are dangerous to eat, Jay, you and I went to a Long John Silver's.
Dangerous for sure.
As we discussed in the previous podcast, where it was actually the batter was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Correct. By yourself.
Yes.
I have to admit, it was not as bad as I anticipated.
Let's start from the beginning. You walked in, you waited for me.
Correct. A lot of sketchy people walked by me.
I texted you to see if you were inside, and like always, you just ignore my texts.
I was playing Pokemon. There was a spin right there.
They still have the 6-foot dots on the floor from COVID,
which is, I don't know, gave it a homey feel.
A COVID-y feel, yeah.
It did. Nobody obeyed them.
The guy taking our order looked like Blue from, what's that movie?
Old School.
Will Ferrell movie? Old School.
Yeah, Old School. Yeah, you're my boy. Blue. You're my boy, Blue. Yeah.
The guy taking our order was that old.
Yes, he was. Worked there since the 60s, but knew his stuff. He knew, when I said number 7, he knew what it was.
And not a thing in that interior had changed since the 60s, I'm pretty sure.
Not a thing. The tables, condiment bar.
The condiment bar is just bottles of shit.
The actual condiments are still there.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. Yeah, the tartar sauce hasn't been changed since the 60s.
It's all awesome when you put it in your mouth.
When you put it in your mouth, correct. I had honest anxiety about going there because it has been literally 20 years since I've been there. I was scared.
So you started with the coleslaw, right?
I have to say, their coleslaw was on point. It was great. And the batter was great. That's why you inducted it to the Hall of Fame.
The batter is the star of the show.
It really is. It makes everything taste the same, but that's okay.
It does.
That's okay.
Yeah. When you've got something good.
Right.
Is it fish? Is it chicken? Is it shrimp? It doesn't really matter. It all tastes the same.
Onion rings, French fries.
There's no difference other than the texture. There's no difference.
I so wish I would have been able to come and just watch Jay's face, because I can almost see the anxiety on it right now, just reliving the experience.
We should have TikToked it.
We should have. No, I had legit anxiety, and I'm not an anxious person because I don't care about the world in general. So I'm not an anxious person, but I was nervous to go to Long John Silver's. It's literally been decades since I've been there. Tastes exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Delicious.
And it was not bad.
Did you ring the bell on the way out?
Was there a bell?
I don't remember there being a bell.
I think Arby's has kind of stolen the bell idea.
That's very blatant.
Their condiment station had malt vinegar and a hot sauce. And the hot sauce had a lot of crusty stuff on the top, so I tried to wipe it off with a napkin, which it didn't come off very good, but I cleaned it up a little bit.
I'm sure everyone there appreciated that.
Yeah.
Probably the first time that bottle has seen something clean off the top of it.
Oh, definitely. That's the first time it's been wiped off since the 80s.
Okay, the other patrons, let's get into that.
Well,
they're pretty much exactly what you'd expect.
It's what you'd expect at Long John Silver's. Working class, older people.
But I'm a patron, so,
Well, we're kind of working class, older people ourselves, let's be honest.
There was a guy in full cowboy gear.
Yeah, full cowboy, yep.
Big cowboy hat, boots.
Boots, belt buckle, everything. Yep, that's true. That's true. Looking for a taste of the sea, I suppose.
But, I don't eat seafood, obviously, so I get the chicken. You are in agreement, though, that the chicken is better.
Chicken's better. It all tastes the same.
But the chicken's better.
But the chicken's better texture-wise.
And it's juicy. It's usually pretty juicy.
The chicken? Yeah, it is. The ones that I had were very juicy. It was grease, but juicy grease.
I was also reminded, and I didn't think about it when we were ordering. I assume you can still do this. My brother used to do it all the time. You can order just a tray full of the grease crumbs.
The crummies. Yep. Yeah, the crummies.
I wish I would have done that.
Which are real good.
They're fantastic.
I don't want to downplay the hush puppies either.
Exactly. So after you get past all this other goodness, you still got the hush puppies.
You do.
Which I'll admit, I slept on those for a lot of years. I used to not eat those, but I've come around on those too.
I have two now. In the last 20 years, those are the first two I've had, but they were good. No, I stand, well, more, I mean, I'm sitting now, but I sit here corrected because I was anxious. I was worried. I was scared, but I'm glad I went.
I didn't go, but I've eaten at Long John Silver's quite a bit in my lifetime. I echo those sentiments. I like Long John Silver's. Never had a problem with it while I'm eating it. So my question is the aftermath. There's when you talk about how juicy and flavorful that chicken was and realize that it was mostly grease, how rough was the rest of the day?
Valid question. It took about 45 minutes.
The beauty is you work from home, though, Jay.
That's true. I have a restroom about 6 feet from me where I sit, and it got real sloppy after about 45 minutes. Let's be honest.
My stomach's a little more hardened. to foods like that. It held out until late in the night.
Okay. Oh, how late? How late?
It was pretty late. Probably 11, 12-ish. But it did finally go down.
It has to at some point.
Yeah, that's the downside to Long John Silver's. We had talked a little bit before we started recording about how you really hope that going in it tastes as good as it does because you know what's coming a little bit later on.
Yeah,
But still worth it.
And that's what you're hoping for.
I agree. I'd do it again.
I'm glad, Jay, that you gave it a chance and you were open to the idea that you might have been wrong for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think you got to have your daughters try it at least once.
It's worth breaching the subject. They will resist, as I did.
Why will they resist? Because you've been bad-mouthing it all these years?
Right.
You molded their young minds.
Yeah, it really gets into the concept of how you think about the world based on what you hear, how you perceive life based on those around you. Because yes, for all of their lives, I've told them that Long John Silver sucks. And now I feel kind of bad about that.
Yeah,
But that thought is ingrained in their mind.
right. That is going to be difficult for them to overcome. It's almost like raising them a Kansas Jayhawks fan or something.
Well, I mean, it's not that bad, but until basketball season, it's not that bad. But no, they have a very predetermined opinion of Long John Silver's that I feel responsible for. I don't know. I don't want to get existential here, but as parents, are we in a place to be that person, to influence in that respect? I don't know. I feel responsible.
What else are they missing out on because you told them it sucks and it's fantastic?
Alcohol.
I don't think they're missing out on that.
No, they
No, and I don't know that you need to beat yourself up about it. It's not like you told them that meth was bad. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think they'll recover. Let's put it that way.
You've probably ruined Sonic pretzels for them also.
It was fine.
You just weren't impressed. Not everybody's going to be impressed with everybody else's.
I know. The cheese, it's gas station cheese.
It's better than gas station cheese.
It's slightly more creamy. I agree. There's maybe a higher dairy content in Sonic's cheese.
Well, then it's not gas station cheese.
Okay, that's fair, but it's fake ass cheese.
Well, if you don't like fake ass cheese, then you might as well just eat a 2x4.
Yeah, good point. It's fine. It's fine. The pretzel, when I ordered it, which was the first time I'd ever ordered it, we've talked about this. It was very hot. It was delivered very hot, very fresh.
They usually are quite hot.
Yeah, like almost too hot. Very fresh. I appreciated that very much. The cheese was in the little thing where you pull the lid off, so it's obviously mass produced, some factory somewhere. But
man, if I could get my hands on a box of that shit.
They probably buy it by the case.
But how do I tap into that supply chain?
That's the tough part. You probably have to have a Sonic license or something, or know somebody. I wonder where they buy it from.
Or get sponsored. Sonic, sponsor us.
I should probably talk nicer about them.
Yeah, now we're not going to get any cheese. Thanks, Jay.
It's very fine. It's a very fine snack. The price, I feel that it's priced very fine. It's priced very reasonable.
So I just kind of woken up to this fact. My wife or my daughter sometimes will order like the onion rings or any other snack that's like $6.
Yeah.
For a medium, these are $1.99.
Right.
They're cheap.
Cheap. Super cheap.
Very good value.
What can you buy for $2 these days? Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's true.
Might be the best fast food value in the business.
I don't know that you can buy anything anywhere for $2.
I can get 3 of them for the price of what, a medium cheese curds or something. Mozzarella sticks, I think, is what my wife got the other day.
Yeah,
It's like $7.
I can believe that.
Did you want to induct something into the Food Hall of Fame this week, Jay, since you didn't get to last week? Oh, by the way, I going back to your King's Hawaiian induction.
Yeah.
I discovered a new product from them this week. King's Hawaiian pretzel bun sliders.
Pretzel bun sliders, huh? I haven't
Pretzel
seen
bun
those.
sliders. They were pretty good. I will probably get them again. I wish they're regular size, but they're slider size.
Yeah, they do have a good handle on that market. That's for sure. That is a good roll.
I almost get like a beer pretzel taste from them.
It's the yeast, probably, don't you suppose, Jay?
Yeah, probably the yeast has to be.
Yeah, I don't know. They're fantastic. I wholeheartedly agree with that induction for sure.
So you got anything, Jay?
I would like to induct Costco rotisserie chickens.
Oh,
For the value, they're delicious. A great deal. They're fantastic, and I love them. I could eat a whole one right now if I had one in front of me.
What do they usually cost
Oh, what are they, like $6 or something? Something crazy, something stupid.
for a whole chicken?
Yeah, whole chicken cooked rotisserie.
This is something I have not had, actually.
Oh, okay.
okay, Mike. You've never had a rotisserie chicken, or just not one from Costco?
Not one from Costco.
Okay, I've never had one from Costco either. I've had them from a variety of places.
Right.
Do they put a different seasoning on them? I mean, are there different flavors?
No, it's one flavor. I think the thing that separates Costco from other, like, regular grocery store sort of rotisserie chickens is the Costco ones are, I don't know, meatier. They're like bigger chickens. They just generally have more meat on them. So it's a better deal in that respect.
I can respect that. And the thing I do like about rotisserie chickens, two things. Like you said, they're delicious, and you can get them pretty inexpensively, and they're ready to go. Like that, you don't have to do anything with them. Take them home and eat them. But I also like the fact that you can use the chicken on those for a lot of different recipes if you want to. And it's already cooked, and you don't have to mess with that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a solid addition, Jay. I love it.
Chicken's a really, really good meat.
I think it's the most widely consumed meat in the world, actually. Let me Google that one moment.
It's very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with chicken, I would agree. And the thing that's nice is everything tastes like chicken. So
We might have to do a meat rankings. I think I might rank it as high as number 2 behind steak.
I like steak. I like beef. Obviously, we come from the beef state.
But in these meat rankings, you got to separate like steak and hamburger. And
That sounds like a good topic for another podcast.
Actually, pork is the most widely eaten meat in the world, followed by poultry.
yeah, we'd have to break it down though. Like we'd have to break pork into certain things.
Yeah,
And
true. I just butchered a pig this weekend.
you butchered it?
Yeah, you should. You probably seen those pics on Facebook, but
You actually killing the pig?
it was very much alive when we showed up. Yes, let's say that. But pork is delicious.
You should TikTok that.
Pork is delicious. This is going to be a hot take, and it's going to just drive Mike to the edge. I'm probably going to get kicked off the podcast, but I would prefer a Husker chop or a thick cut pork chop to a steak.
I want to go back to you posting pics of you killing a pig on Facebook. Why did I not see these?
You haven't seen them? I'll send those to you too.
So you posted them like where everyone can see them?
I don't know.
Can you put them on the Big Randy Christmas page?
I think I got tagged. I'll find them. Hold on.
What is the process for butchering it?
You shoot it in the head, and then you take the guts out. No, I'm not being weird or anything here. It's
I know,
it's
that's
honest.
why I'm laughing. Did the shooting in the head make the Facebook?
No, that's a pretty intimate setting. But you shoot it in the head, and then you take the guts out, and then you take the skin off, and then you cut it into pieces. That's pretty much how it goes.
Sounds like a good time.
Feeds the family most all year.
Drinking from your Taylor Swift cup there.
Yeah, sorry, a little pause there for Taylor Swift drink. We're having a Dr. Burby out of the Taylor Swift cup tonight.
This podcast is sponsored by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift glass with Dr. Pepper and bourbon in it. Dr. Burby. I've drank a lot of alcohol tonight.
See, Bryson DeChambeau has some new videos, some Break 50 videos.
Nice.
I did actually see it.
Those will become what must watch for me.
I enjoy them too. They are pretty fun to watch, just the different ones. I think I've watched almost all of them now, the Breaking 50 ones especially, but it's always interesting to see who he gets on there.
The Tony Romo one, which is fairly recent, a week or two ago, is pretty good.
That's it too. Romo is actually funny.
There's several reasons. That's one of them. Romo is very competitive, and you can tell that it bothers him a little bit that he's playing with somebody, because Romo's a good golfer, very good golfer. Like on the first hole, Bryson's talking about driving the green, and Tony's like, well, I'm going to give it a go too. And he ends up like 30, 40 yards short. And then Bryson gets up there and pretty much lands it on the green.
Yeah. Well, the part of that one that made me laugh was they were reading a putt.
The putt was the other thing I was
yeah, and Bryson was like, "I think it's going to go like this. I think it's going to do this." And Romo turns the camera and is like, "That putt is actually going to do this, but I'm not going to tell him." And so he putts it and he misses, and then Romo putts it and does and makes it. It's too funny.
The whole time he didn't tell Bryson either.
No, didn't tell him either. Didn't tell him.
That's pretty funny. And also, I thought Romo looked really, really freaking old.
He did look fairly old. You have to remember that we're fairly old, too.
And I think part of it was next to Bryson, who's in really good shape.
True.
The other thing on that, which I had already been kind of mulling over after watching the John Daly episode, I've really been researching these grips Bryson's been using. And I'm so convinced that they're going to help me that I bought a couple to try. The oversized Jumbo Max, they're called.
Yeah. Did you have somebody put them on, or did you put the grips on yourself?
It's surprisingly easy to put golf grips on. I didn't realize this. I did it myself. The three I got yesterday, actually, and had all three of them on in maybe an hour and a half.
Huh.
If you have the right tools, which I had watched some videos ahead of time and ordered a little kit on Amazon, I thought the hard part was going to be getting the old grip off, but they make like a curved blade that you can cut the old grip off without damaging the shaft, because you don't want to damage the shaft, Jeff.
Never.
Very important. Very important.
Never.
That goes unscathed.
And then you just wrap the new tape, and they sell pre-cut strips that are pretty much the right length around it. You dump this grip tape solution into the grip, and then you dump it on the tape, you slide it on, and you're done. In like an hour, it's supposed to be dry, but of course I gave it a day or so.
So have you tried them out then? That was my next question.
I went out to the range today.
And
I was still terrible. Turns out it takes talent. So the deal was, and he's mentioned this in several videos, a lot of people roll their wrists or have a tendency to turn their hands over too hard or too fast. And I think that's definitely me. I'm always snap hooking shots. I can actually snap hook a pitching wedge sometimes, which is baffling to me how I can do that. So these bigger grips, and I have large hands to begin with. So I probably, even if I wasn't using some sort of jumbo ridiculous grip, should have had slightly larger grips to begin with. So I went out there, I put 3 on my driver. I did a 5-iron and 7-iron to try them out. I haven't played a lot of golf recently, so I think there was a little bit of getting my swing back to serviceable shape before I could really evaluate the grips. I didn't snap hook one shot.
well, that's encouraging.
Really?
I didn't hit, I had a lot of bad shots, but I don't think I snap hooked one shot.
You felt that it was straighter with the bigger grips.
Watched YouTube videos, different YouTube personalities trying these grips, saying almost it too much because it makes them go right or it makes them slice. I didn't really have too many slices or offline to the right either. sometimes I'd pull it still to the left, but it was a pull. It wasn't like a hard hooking shot to the left. I think if I spent some time with them, put them all on my clubs, I think they would make a pretty big difference. I really do.
That's interesting. See, and this is something that I know that you naturally have a draw or a hook to your swing, to your ball flight. For me, golfing, I've always had a fade at best, slice at times. And so this would not be a solution for me because it would just end up accentuating that and making it worse. So
I would agree.
I'm glad that this is something that's helping you, but I know it's not going to be something that would benefit.
Some YouTubers said it almost felt like holding a baseball bat. I didn't get that sensation. Maybe it's because of my big hands. I have very big hands, ladies. It still felt like a golf club to me, but it definitely was a different feeling swinging it. Actually got a little, it's an outing for work tomorrow. And I think going back and forth between the two might not be the greatest idea, but we'll see how that goes.
So, question for you, and this might segue into our next little bit. But so you said there's a tool that you can use to cut the old grip off, and it's curved, and it helps to prevent the shaft from being injured and allowing it to go unscathed. I think that kind of goes into our next little discussion about the Gen X, Gen Z topic, doesn't it?
That is an excellent seg into Gen Z story time, Jeff. It's a story that I recall very vividly. I think we all do.
I do.
1993, a woman named Lorena Bobbitt. She took, according to Wikipedia, she grabbed an 8-inch Ginsu carving knife on the kitchen counter, returned to her bedroom, pulled back the sheets, and cut off John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
Hacked it right off.
Now, if you would have used that knife I used, that would have taken forever. It was just a tiny little
tiny little knife.
Yes, but I have big hands, so.
I think it's important to mention the Ginsu knife brand was a very TV 90s home shopping network sort of
infomercial.
Yeah, infomercial knife brand, the Ginsu. Like they would cut through a pop can or beer can or whatever, and then they would slice a tomato. Like Ginsu in general is a very 90s knife.
This story is very 90s.
It really is.
Well, but the thing that I always found funny was that didn't she drive, if I remember right? She cut it off, stuck it in her pocket, and drove for a while, and then got tired of holding onto this severed penis, so she threw it out the window into a field.
Wikipedia says, after a length of time driving and struggling to steer with one hand due to holding the penis, she threw the penis out the window.
See, until you say the threw the penis out the window thing, that could have been a lot of guys' dreams.
There's a lot to brag about here for this guy. I mean, he can't even manage his steering wheel because my penis is so big.
But the story gets even better, though, because once they found it and cleaned it and reattached it, he went on to have somewhat of a porn acting career, didn't he?
He did 2 porn films, correct.
Oh my God. Good for him that he was even able to use it again.
Bravo.
Were the scars featured?
Oh, they had to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of curious how big it was now, to be honest.
Okay, it's a weird question, but but we were all thinking it.
I'm just the one that said it. Yes.
Right. If Lorena was holding it and struggling to steer the car, it makes you wonder.
Exactly. I mean, I've held plenty of things and been able to steer a car fine. Not a penis.
44-ounce.
Never held a penis. Exactly.
Feels like there's more to that story.
Plenty of big Long John Silver's pieces of chicken, though.
Long John Silver's. That fits even better.
Yes. It's John Wayne Bobbitt.
Long John Silver's should have had a sponsorship there or something.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
It's almost so comical that you can't believe it's real, but it did happen. I mean, that's the thing that's so wild about that is it's It's almost like somebody tried to come up with a way to make the biggest porn joke ever, but it was actually true.
In the early 90s, you just didn't talk about penises.
No.
Like, that wasn't mentioned. That wasn't in the news. And then all of a sudden, this was in the news.
It's kind of a good advertisement for Jinsu knives too.
It really is.
Because how much time do you get to cut that off before he wakes up and he's shoving you off?
Right. No, you have one swipe. You have one swipe at that. That's it.
Yeah,
It's like the raw tomato on their commercials that they slice through.
that's exactly what it is.
You
It's a
got to
raw
do it
tomato.
quick. You got to do it quick.
Do you think somebody did like a Ginsu spoof where they cut the penis?
Oh, you think it has to be out there somewhere?
I'm
don't you?
Googling it. I'm Googling it right now. Hold on.
It seems like a missed opportunity if it hasn't been done. One other side note, John Wayne Bobbitt, the penis loser, later formed a band called the Severed Parts.
No way.
Serious. This is on Wiki. True story. Oh, and this year he had to have his toes amputated.
Did they use a Ginsu knife for that?
What?
He claims it was some sort of exposure to toxic waters in the 80s or some shit like that. I mean, the funny part is he had an appendage amputated this year, and he's still alive apparently.
Wild.
Kind of a funny little side note. Lorena Bobbitt was also charged 4 years later for assaulting her mother as they watched television, punching her.
Punching her. At least there were no Ginsu knives around. Nothing to cut off.
She seems like a lovely lady.
Yeah.
They're both wonderful people. Wiki also says that he stated in 2018 that his penis is back to normal. Does that mean that it took till 2018 to get back to normal, or that's just when he stated it?
No, wasn't he in some porn? He was in some porn films, wasn't he? Or was that after that?
That doesn't mean it's back to normal.
I think he was looking to get back out there on the dating scene and made that statement.
How do you recover from that?
I don't think you do. I still haven't.
No, you don't. In our generation, you do not recover from that.
I mean, like on the dating scene. Of course, they divorced, I think it was like 3 years later. It took him...
Seems like too long.
He didn't immediately divorce her.
Yeah, seems like way too long.
I don't know about you two, but even now, you know what? We're over 30 years later. I still cross my legs and think, oh my God, can you imagine that?
I don't want to think about that. I mean, he's probably in shock, yes, but at some point...
All three of us know how marriage works, right? But this lady seems pretty high maintenance. Like there's something going on that you don't want a piece of.
He probably did not give her a tire rebate for their anniversary.
Probably give her nothing.
Well, thank you, Mike, for that topic, because that still blows my mind.
That's classic 90s there. Let's do points to ponder.
This is Optimus Prime, and you're listening to the Strip Talking Points to Ponder.
Well, can I start with mine then?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
So we've come to our favorite, our fans' favorite part of our podcast.
It's my favorite.
The ending.
We actually don't have any fans.
Okay.
We don't have any fans that have said that this is their favorite. It's just our favorite.
It's just our favorite part. Okay. So my point to ponder tonight is the Alien movie series, sequence, whatever you want to call it, was popular starting what? Mid-80s, going into the 90s?
Yep.
At the same time, roughly, there was another alien type movie series, and that was Predator. If you were given the choice of choosing between the Alien movie series or the Predator movie series, which one do you choose? And there is a right answer to this one.
And there was a crossover in like mid 2000s, 2004, 2005, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into either movie, but I would pick Alien because of
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver in her underwear.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that in the 80s. I'm gonna have to go. Growing up watching Rambo, watching Commando, things like that, I'm gonna have to go with Predator. Not as the better series, but as the series that excites me more, I guess. Alien has a better storyline, but Predator is more awesome. That's my answer.
I respect that answer, and that's the correct answer. Predator just kicks ass. I don't know. The original Predator, just the whole idea of Arnold and all of those commandos getting dropped in the middle of that rainforest and they can't figure out what's killing people. And then just the whole sequence of him figuring out that he can't see him when he's covered, that he's sees the thermal, and just how he plots the whole thing. That movie's pretty kick-ass. I will say that the crossover one, that was a really good movie too. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I appreciate y'all's input on that one, because I think Predator is the answer, but Mike just thinks of Sigourney Weaver.
Nothing wrong with that.
Was she in her underwear in the Predator versus Alien one?
No, she wasn't in the Predator versus Alien one.
I don't think so. She was just in the earlier Alien ones.
All right, Michael, do you have a points to ponder?
Best Metallica song of all time?
Best Metallica song. I'm going to answer this first. And I'm going to give a runner-up, too.
I think everyone's going to go.
You can't go Enter Sandman. That's what you're saying.
Everyone's going to go.
You can't say that.
No, that's not one I was going to do either.
Enter Sandman's fantastic.
That's the problem. It is. How can you not?
How can you not? I know. One is number one.
Yeah, one is a good one.
One is number one. And I'm going to give a runner-up, and it's Whiskey in the Jar. That's it.
That's an interesting choice, considering I don't think that's even their song.
Really?
I think it's a cover, isn't it?
I don't even know that.
Isn't it off the Garage Inc. album?
Hold on. I'm Googling it.
I can respect the answer of one. I was going to go with Master of Puppets is what I was going to go with.
It's pretty good. Good choice.
God, that is, yeah. You can't really choose just
They
one.
have so many good songs.
You almost have to go with the ones that just absolutely shred and rock, like a category there.
Like Whiskey in the Jar.
Then you have some that slow it down a little bit that are not necessarily ballad.
Because I was gonna go just to be different. I was gonna a little different, but it's a valid choice. Would be Nothing Else Matters.
That's just what I was going to say. There's Nothing Else Matters. There's The Unforgiven.
Nothing Else Matters is in a different category. Was it like Elton John or somebody called it a masterpiece or something at their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Probably.
Yeah, I can believe that.
It really is.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I also like Fade to Black. I mean, there's so many songs that are just...
Yeah, Ride the Lightning, Seek and Destroy.
Yep.
King Nothing.
I was just thinking King Nothing.
That's a fucking terrible choice.
No, it is not.
You can't pick anything off Load or Reload.
Come on.
I would agree that there are way too many songs to just be able to pick one, because there are a lot of good ones. All right, so what was your other point to ponder there, Mike?
Still got two more, Jeffrey.
Okay, sorry.
But we didn't talk about the real answer to that question.
The correct answer?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's still Enter Sandman.
Fantastic song. I agree.
I think you push back on it, even I do, because it's been played so much and you've heard it so many times, and it's maybe a little more mainstream.
When the vast majority of people think about Metallica, that's the song they think about. It is. And it's a fantastic song.
Everybody's heard that song.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody in the universe has heard that song. Have you ever watched the video to Whiskey in a Jar? So good.
How hard is it to find out if it's a cover or not?
No, well, you keep distracting me.
That's a cover.
I honestly don't know that.
Jeff, you know I'm right.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up, because Jay keeps getting distracted.
I will look it up. Thin Lizzy cover.
Whiskey in the Jar.
Yeah, it is a cover.
Thin Lizzy. Look at that. I did not know that.
So that Garage Inc. was the second Garage Inc. was a double album, and one of them was all covers, or maybe both of them were.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, because that had Turn the Page, right? That had Turn the Page on
Right.
it.
Yeah, correct.
I don't remember the deal. They had a few originals, but most of those both of those, I think, were covers.
Man, that's such a good song, though.
Did you know Turn the Page was a cover?
Well, yeah.
It's okay. You can admit that you didn't.
No, I did know that one.
Anyway. All right. Best Omaha street name?
You're going to laugh at this.
L Street.
Why wouldn't you go with O?
O is not a main street. Anyway, go, Jay.
There's a street called Burt Street. Burt, B-U-R-T.
B-U-R-T, yep.
Every time I drive by it, I'm like, from old school Sesame Street, I'm like, hey, Bert. Hey, Bert. So I'm going to go Bert Street.
Nice. That's a good answer. I like that. Wasn't expecting to get that good an answer out of you.
Hey, Bert.
That is a very good answer, and I know where Burt Street is. Funny thing is there's also a Grover Street that you could go with too.
I think I've been on Grover.
Yeah,
Isn't that one kind of a sketchy area?
it's kind of by the interstate, especially as you get further east. But so this kind of goes back to my days when I lived in Omaha. Most of Omaha is set up on an east-west, north-south grid. I mean, there's not very many roads that don't follow that sort of alignment. But one of them was right by my apartment, and it kind of squirrels through part of Omaha, kind of on the eastern side, and that was Saddle Creek Road. I always thought that was an interesting name for a street in Omaha of all places. What's yours, Michael?
I thought Jay would go with Dodge, being from Kansas.
I literally thought about that.
I think Jay's is better. I just always liked Maple.
Maple.
Makes me hungry.
Maple.
Maple syrup. Blondo. It's hard to argue with a blonde, right?
Blondo. Blondo's a good one.
Pacific. Center.
Omaha is for those that haven't ever visited Omaha, it's a very, in my opinion, well laid out town. It's an easy town to get around. It's a fast town to get around.
Yep.
Just because of the interstates, how the interstates are laid out. It's a very easy town to get around. And then you go over to Lincoln and you just want to pull your freaking eyelashes out.
I 100% agree with that. I think Lincoln is way harder to drive in than
Oh my God,
Omaha.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
In college, we spent way more time in Lincoln than Omaha. Post-college.
Mostly O Street.
As I spent more time in Omaha, it's just a way, 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 way better city.
It is.
Just all around.
Not just because of the traffic, but traffic's not the right word. The roads in general. It's easier to get around. It's faster to get around. Food's better. Girls are better looking. It's just better. It is. It's better. There's casinos closer.
Casinos,
Yeah.
yes. I was just going to say that. It's got the zoo, giraffes.
I'm not a big giraffe fan, but...
Don't tell me you don't like the zoo.
Oh, I like the zoo. I'm just not a giraffe fan.
Oh.
They kind of terrify me.
What's your favorite zoo exhibit in Omaha?
I would say the penguins. Penguins.
Wait, that just became a point to ponder.
Ooh, point to ponder.
Best Omaha Zoo exhibit. Go.
The penguins are a favorite of mine too, but
Yeah.
they're not the favorite. My favorite is the new Owen Sea Lion Shore. The sea
That's
lions
pretty
are
cool.
that's fun. I like that a lot.
Wait, did I say exhibit or can it be a ride?
There's rides?
Sure. Skyfari is what I think Mike is thinking.
Skyfari is the best by far. Oldie but a goodie.
Like the thing where it takes...
Chairlift.
Yeah, chairlift thing, yeah. That's a ride, sure.
But I said exhibit. I don't think I said ride.
You did say exhibit.
You know what I love about that zoo too? Some guy or some family named Grucock sponsors a bunch of it. So all the signs say Grucock. Grucock.
Oh man.
And most overrated is the top part of the Desert Dome.
Oh, easily. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the basement. I like the Kingdoms of the Night is good.
Kingdom of the Night's cool. The top part of Desert Dome, pretty boring.
The bottom, that's where they have like snakes and spiders and stuff, right?
That's where they have the swamp and the alligators. And
That is pretty sweet. The top part, they just have lizards and that's about it.
you get in there and you see the dome and that's cool for a few minutes. But after that, see it once, then you're done.
Yep, I could see that. Go to the Kingdoms of the Night every time, but I don't have to go on the top part ever.
And we have a strip walking map for it.
That's true. Visit stripwalking.com to visit it.
Did you have any points to ponder, Jay?
It's not really a points to ponder. It's more of a rhetorical question.
This is sounding awful already.
Am I allowed a rhetorical question? The worst sort of person, and I'll start with my answer. The worst sort of person is the person that draws a picture on their final Jeopardy answer for when it shows on the screen and they're like, I love you, my son, or whatever. Like, just answer the question. And it's not really answering the question, it's questioning the answer in Jeopardy terms. But I can't stand the people that draw a picture on their final Jeopardy answer.
I think I have an answer also.
Okay.
People that ask rhetorical questions on Points to Ponder.
Yes. Valid. I watch Jeopardy every day and it pisses me off.
The only time that it's acceptable to draw something like that on Final Jeopardy is when it's the Saturday Night Live spoof on Jeopardy, and it's Sean Connery making fun of Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek, rest in peace. And if you don't know it at all, then that's fine. You can write something funny, but you just look like an idiot.
Who's hosting it now?
It's the guy
Jennings, what is his name?
Yeah, Kenneth Jennings. Maybe?
Really? The guy that won it like a million times in a row?
Yeah, the guy
Ken
that
Jennings.
was super long running champion. Yeah, because they had the lady from Big Bang Theory,
Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, I think she was maybe a little too famous, probably a little too expensive for Jeopardy.
But actually a physicist in real life.
Yeah, she's super smart in real life. Yeah,
Which makes her role on the Big Bang Theory even funnier.
Her character on Big Bang Theory is so good.
I've got one more.
Okay, one more.
Okay.
Most comforting comfort food.
I'm gonna put a stipulation on it that my most comforting comfort food. I know you're probably looking for a specific dish, and so I'm gonna give you one. But my category would be I love soup, any type of homemade soup. But probably on the best one is probably just like a chicken noodle soup. When I'm feeling shitty, that's especially during the winter. But I'd eat soup any time of the year. I love soup.
Meatloaf.
Oh my God.
Meatloaf is the answer.
You both are way off.
I don't hate that answer, by the way, Jay.
I hate it with all my heart. Almost as much as I hate soup.
You hate my answer?
Yes. Meatloaf? Are you fucking serious?
Oh, I love meatloaf.
Yes, I'm absolutely serious. That's why I answered it.
Do you eat hamburgers?
Yes, I eat hamburgers.
It's basically a hamburger.
No, it's not.
Add a little breadcrumbs, ketchup,
Breadcrumbs
on
and some egg and
No.
Yeah.
Ew.
What else do you need?
Ugh.
All right, what you got, Michael?
Your answer is going to be wrong.
No, it's not because I asked the question.
Can still be wrong.
You should be able to guess mine.
Mac and cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Oh, mac and cheese.
I've known you a long time, Mike.
Goes pretty well with meatloaf. Out of the box mac and cheese or homemade?
Any, but
Okay.
I ain't gonna turn up my nose at out of the box mac and cheese. See, I have a very specific way I prepare it too.
Okay.
Might be a bit unconventional.
Extra butter.
Well, yes, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
A lot of extra butter. But I cook it a very short amount of time, almost, but not quite crunchy.
As the Italians would say, al dente.
If you say so.
Do you know what al dente means?
To the tooth.
To the tooth. Good job, Jay.
That's correct.
Yep.
To the tooth.
Yes, I don't cook it very long, and
Yeah.
don't put any milk in there. Lots of butter.
No milk.
No milk at all?
You just use butter as their liquid?
It gets too creamy, then yeah.
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
Mackerel.
Okay. All right. To each of their own.
Try it, Jeff.
It's a calorie-packed meal.
I'm pretty sure I've been around you enough. I've tried it by you before. I've tried your mac and cheese before.
I've refined it over the years.
Okay.
If you do it right, it'll go right through you like Long John Silver's.
Well, if
Get
you're
that
using
right.
that much butter, I'm guessing it will.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoy our podcast, please consider subscribing and giving us a rating as many stars as possible. You can find us on all major social media outlets at Strip Walking or visiting us at stripwalking.com, of course. Thank you all for listening again, and may all your sevens show on the come out roll. Man, I'm fucking drunk.